Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody is doing fine. Let's do a quick audio and video check. If you're able to hear me and see me, can you just confirm that? A quick audio check. Let me know in the comment section. Okay, guys, can do a quick audio check and video check. If you're able to hear me and see me, let me know in the comment section. Perfect. All right, let's begin. Okay, here I am. Okay, in a very new avatar. This is very new to me. Okay, streaming from a studio, I'm more used to doing it in a classroom. Okay, and given the fact that mains is all upon us, and not many people who are writing for 2024 mains expressed to attend offline. So I thought why not shoot it from the studio. Okay, so this is a new experience. It's going to be an exciting one for me as well, and hopefully for you as well. Right, so without further much ado, we'll directly hit to the bullseye. Well, before we do that, I want to like show you a short recap here of what we did and what we started off in the skill enhancement classes. Okay, so what we did in the skill enhancements classes, if you remember, we started off with this one. Candidates may be required to write essays on multiple topics. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay, to arrange their ideas in an orderly fashion, and to write concisely. And credit will be given for effective and exact expression. I hope you have not forgotten this. Sticking to the demand of the topic that is given, sticking to the subject of the essay closely, you can have your own set of innovations, unique dimensions, additional dimensions, counter dimensions, but within the scope of the topic. And remember to write concisely. And I cannot emphasize enough how much I have spoken this again. Write concisely, especially in the first test. Right, most of you were writing way too much than it is required, but I think I'm glad to say that that has been cut down. And I think now in second and third test, most of you are writing up to the mark, but still there will be some digressions from writing concisely. I want you to ensure that you always write concisely, so that the overall number of dimensions can improve, overall number of dimensions can increase per se. Okay, and credit will be given for effective and exact expression. Before I come to that, one more thing with respect to arranging the ideas in an orderly fashion. One thing that I have seen is still some of you are having issues with structuring. In couple of the essays that I read, you're directly bringing the counter argument or the counter dimensions without addressing the topic, or you're directly bringing the unique dimension before addressing the topic itself. So always focus on structuring your essays very well. That is needed. If the essay is poorly structured, it may give an impression, it may give an idea that you may have not addressed the topic, or you may have misunderstood the topic. And that is something that should not happen, and it should not happen at any cost. And coming to that, credit will be given for effective and exact expression, to the point, without beating around the bush, but making an impact on the mind of the examiner. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. Now that this part we have sort of revisited, let us go and see the previous year topics analysis from 2014 to 2023. So today's agenda will be very simple, and this is a very important session where we'll not just analyze the broad themes, we will try and generate some normal dimensions and some unique dimensions, along with ensuring how we are approaching the topic. How we are approaching the topic. Because what I have seen is, you guys, some of you had some issues with identifying the approach you should initially take in the body of the essay. Because some topics are naturally argumentative, some topics are naturally analytical, some topics are both. It can be both analytical or expository, and it can be argumentative. But you are trying to generate arguments and apply that 1001 1100 approach where it is not applicable. If, as I told you in the skill enhancement classes, one size doesn't fit all. This is essay. You have to approach the topic based on the nature of the topic. Because what happens here is, if you sort of have a very inorganic approach where you're trying to fit your, let's say you have a structure in mind and you're trying to impose that structure on the topic, but the topic is naturally not structured in that way, the topic naturally is not in that direction, then that means you are making a mistake. So we will see, we'll pick most of the previous year topics, and we are going to see the approach, generate some dimension, like a mini brainstorming session we will have. That is the agenda for today. And we will now commence with analysis. Now, these are the broad themes and number of times they have occurred, or most often repetitive themes in the past 10 years. The values, the word values and its corresponding synonyms appear the most, 8 times. So values have appeared 8 times in previous year topics. Leadership and personality development has come for 7 times. So leadership and personality development has come 7 times. Education is 4 times. Success is thrice. Wisdom is thrice. Compassion is thrice. And coming a couple of times are gratitude, contentment, and change. 2 to 3 times. So values and its associated things, that what we study in largely with respect to the values, morality, 8 times. So that means almost every year, or at least alternate years, you can expect one topic on values. Whereas leadership and personality development are 7 times here. Education is 4, success is thrice, wisdom is thrice, compassion is thrice, and gratitude, contentment, change has come couple of times. Along with that, what are the additional themes that have come? Purpose or meaning of life, creativity, given the fact that it was asked even last year, okay, make it twice. Optimism is one more theme. Love, interconnection or interconnectedness rather than connection. Tradition or culture. Individuality and identity. Freedom, equality, justice, peace, and sustainability. These are coming at least once or twice, these additional themes. And then again the same one: compassion, empathy, hope, honesty, trust, respect, accountability, conflict resolution, science and ethics, continuously being asked in the past couple of years, and philanthropy. Now, when you are preparing exclusively for essay, because last 1 month is some people who will start emphasizing on essays. So what I want you to do is any hooks, any arguments, any unique examples that you try and generate, or most importantly, call for action, or any ready-made conclusions that you try and generate should fit into these broad topics that I just showed you, right? Values, leadership, education, success, wisdom, compassion, all these topics. In the after the session in the Telegram channel, I'll share all these themes that are asked in the previous year topics. So largely, you can expect the eight essay topics given. Out of that, at least six or five will overlap with these themes, and having ready-made content helps. Now that most of you have written three essays, you have a broad set of experience of how to approach the essay. But now last month is that month where you further refine it, you further hone it to and ensure that whatever you are doing, whatever you are going to do in the last month revolves around broadly around these themes: generating uniqueness, generating unique examples, expressing effectively, having a broad sense of conclusion, call for action based on these themes. With respect to call for action, I'll further speak on it in the corresponding sessions. But I'm talking about overall approach for the last month. So see and generate content so that it can fit, if at all, if at all, direct or indirectly they ask in your actual exam, and ensure that whatever hooks or examples or your conclusions that you're, some of them have to be kept ready made, are broadly within this category, right? Now with that out of the way, let us now, I want you guys to open your workbooks, and in the workbooks go to the previous year UPSC mains exam topics section. Okay, and we are going to start with respect to that. Okay, so we are going to do the analysis. We're going to we're going to identify certain keywords. Okay, so kindly open your course books to previous year's UPSC mains exam topics. Okay, so first we are going to start by this topic: be the change you want to see in others. Just give me a moment. Now, the first topic: be the change you want to see in the others. Now, what approach do you think you can take here? Be the change you want to see in others. Now, this is a quite a common quote. Now, remember here that this talks about change, social influence. It can be persuasion, because in order to have the change, you have to persuade the others. And this has to be an analytical topic. The approach that you are taking here has to be analytical, because there is no way that you can negate this topic, be the change you want to see in this, in the world. Now with respect to this topic, when you are taking, you can sort of bring in why. Why should we be the change that we want to see in the world? And what happens, the consequences part, when we become the change itself. So what happens when we become the change itself? So you can do the, uh, you can approach the topic analytically, bring in why you have to be the change, and what are the consequences of bringing the change, and substantiate using all the examples that you are. But you need to, along this everybody will be doing, but along with this you need to bring in some sort of unique dimension. And one unique dimension that I can think of is, can one person make a difference? Can one person make a difference? Or can one person bring a lasting change? Can one person bring a lasting change? So these are the way you approach this topic. If the topic is like this, be the change you want to see in others, you have to analyze it, and then see. Always remember, first start with transition paragraph, you give the context of change, and then you bring in, like, in the first half of the body, why do we have to do the change, what are the consequences of change, how can we bring about change, and then you have to go on to the sort of counter dimensions, or rather than counter dimensions, I would say these are the additional dimensions. Can one person make a difference? The answer is again yes or no, both. Can a person bring a lasting change? And then again realign with the topic. Do not directly in the first half of the body bring, can one person bring a change, and then in the second half you are bringing how to be the change that we want to see in the world. Okay, so we'll go move on to the next topic. Okay, so the next topic is, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, with greater power comes greater responsibility, this is the topic. And remember here, this can be, the approach for this is, it can be both expository, that is analytical, and this can also be a bit argumentative, this topic. It can be expository as well as argumentative. So I'm using E and A. E means expository or analytical, A means argumentative. Now you can analyze why, or you can analyze why or how with great power comes greater responsibility. This is a slight modified version of the code. With great power comes great responsibility. So that means you bring in the aspect of, when you have power, you have X, Y, Z number of responsibility. And then you can tell how to ensure that responsibility. This is one more dimension that you could bring in. And one sort of additional argument that you can bring is, or counter dimension that you can bring in the second half of the essay here is, with greater power, that you know that cliched quote, right? Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? So with greater power comes the power to corrupt, because when you enjoy the high annals of power, okay, you can always, this power is prone to misuse. And when the power is sort of misused, that will result in from dereliction of duty to misuse of funds and shrinkage of accountability. And one more unique dimension that you could actually generate in this set of topic is, yes, you can agree with the topic, with greater power comes greater responsibility, agree, and then put only if there is accountability. So with greater power comes greater responsibility only if there is accountability, because in absence of accountability, the power can be misused, the responsibilities can be shrunk, responsibilities can be derelicted, responsibilities can be diffused. But if there is accountability, with greater power comes greater responsibility, then it will be true. I'll take your comments from after 2 3 topics. I just want to warm you up of how to approach. After that, most of the your suggestions, or I will ask you to give me unique dimensions, and then I'll give you my perspective on that. Okay, first 2 3 topics. Let me take over. After 3 4 topics, I will ask for your inputs as comments, especially generating the unique dimensions. Okay, we will little bit focus of this session will be on the unique dimensions. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Words are sharper than a two-edged sword. Now, compared to the previous two topics, with greater power comes greater responsibility. Be the change you want to see in the other. This is a slightly trickier topic. Now, this this one is largely a expository or a analytical topic for sure. Can be made slightly argumentative, just slightly argumentative. That's all. That too at the very end. We will see that. But largely, generally, the approach for this type of topic is expository or analytical. Now, with respect to that, saying that words are sharper than a two-edged sword. So here, two-edged sword means you have to always bring in two aspects here. Two-edged sword means it cuts on the inside also, and it cuts on the outside as well. So when you do the analysis, you have to show how words cut on the inside, how words cut on the outside. That means inside means harm a individual or within, outside means harm a third party. So you have to ensure that, since they're telling that words are sharper than a two-edged sword cuts both inside and outside. You have to bring that inside and outside dimensions. You have to bring that, right? So, and then some unique dimensions that you could generate here is, words are just words, right? Their sharpness always depends upon the receiver. Let's say there may be misunderstanding, you meant good only, but that depends on how the receiver receives it. You can take the example of Mahabharata, that example of Ashwathama the elephant. Remember, Guru Drona asked Yudhishthir, right? Is Ashwathama alive, then he replies Ashwatthama and subtly tells the elephant is dead. So it all depends on how the receiver perceives your words. And one more unique dimension is you can bring in a sort of a counter dimension here. I told you it is slightly, you can make it slightly argumentative and always at the second half of the essay before conclusion. Okay, you can bring in actions matter more than words. So bring in the aspect of actions that actions are the ones that matter more than the words. So this is a topic where analysis has to bring and into the picture the two-edged sword of how words can act as it, and ensure that this type of topics, there is a general tendency that you may go on negative aspect of that because the topic seems like that, but also bring in the positive aspects of the words, because words can also heal, not just hurt. And sometimes yes, words are needed to put your foot down and make your mark, but always just don't restrict yourself on negative aspects, bring in the positive aspects of word, because sharp positive words can also make a difference. For example, do or die, what happened in Gwali Tank Maidan or August Kranti Maidan during Quit India movement, those are sharper than any double-edged sword. It created a sort of a revolution in the country, right? So always keep your scope of the essay broad. Okay, do not restrict yourself for whatsoever reason and narrow down your essay. All right, so let's go on to the next topic. After this topic I'll ask your inputs on each topic. Okay, so get ready. Okay, this is the last one. I'll ask your inputs. I'll give a few of mine first and then ask your inputs and then give my final input on the topic after this topic. Now, lending hands to someone is better than giving a dole. So first of all, this is again slightly complicated than the previous three. You have to understand. Now, lending hands to someone is better than giving a dole. Now, first, before you can decide what type of approach you will take, you have to identify what exactly is the meaning of the topic. Very simple. You know that quote, right? It's better to teach a man to fish rather than giving him fish for free. Same. It's like it's better to empower somebody than giving for a freebie. This is the basic meaning of the topic. So empower somebody, teach somebody than just giving a freebie. Now the approach, right? It's again largely analytical. Why should we not uh, give out freebies and why should we empower? But this is also sort of argumentative, because at times you can argue that because sometimes you need to give out dole, you need to give out freebies, you need to give something without considering anything else. It just needs at that point of time charity is needed there. So it is expository, but it also has an argumentative angle for that. You can start by why you have to empower somebody, then giving broadly, right? Why do you have to empower people? Next, what are the drawbacks of giving out doles, right? And that is something that you have to ensure. Now, on some sort of unique dimension, first before unique, I'll go for the counter dimensions. Okay, so here the counter dimensions can be very simple. Like at times, dole is necessary before we can lend hands. Like for example, you can tell, give the example of universal basic income, which is being under discussion. Because when you see the lowest and of the sections of the society, the weakest of the sections of the society, now the poorest of the poor, ultra poor as we call them in GS2, now what skill will you teach them? They lack basic nutrition, they lack basic health facilities. Now for that person you'll tell, okay, come here, I'm going to teach you some skill, you can work and you can buy yourself food. That's not going to happen. Because for a country especially like India, some sort of dole is needed, especially you can bring in the concept of universal basic income, where they can at least ensure their survival, their food needs are taken care of, their shelter needs are taken care of, and then you can empower them. You can make it like an exception once, not always. You can bring in sometimes the aspect of it's not always, but it is sometimes. And one unique dimension that you can generate here is you should lend hands in such a way that the person is able to pay it forward. You remember, pay it forward. So, what exactly is paying it forward? This is a concept which is exists. Let's say I help somebody and I do it without any expectation of any help back. So I am just helping that person. But my only expectation is that now that I have helped it, this person will help somebody else. By creating this will create a virtuous cycle. I've helped somebody, right? And that person is going to help others. So that is called as paying it forward. So that is the unique dimension. So, and also remember, this unique dimension should again always come in the second half of the body. I cannot emphasize on that enough. After all your analysis, all your substantiation is done, then bring in lend hands in such a way that those lending hands become uh, lend hands is the way that the persons to whom you have lent hands can further lend their own hands to somebody else in the future, empower them to that extent so that they can pay it forward, right? So this is one more thing, right? Any doubts so far in this four topics? Any doubts in these four topics? Ask me in the comment section. No, Ajay, it's not trickle down. It's called as paying it forward in a circle. Trickle down is you sprinkle onto the next level, they sprinkle onto the next level. That is trickle down. This is more of a circle. You empower somebody, they empower somebody, they empower somebody, and you never know. The fate may have it that you will also get empowered by somebody you might have empowered. All right. Okay. If no doubts, okay. Let's go on to the next topic. I'll give it my brief approach and analysis. Unique arguments, you tell me in the comment section when I ask for the unique dimensions. All right. Let's go to the next topic. Quick but steady wins the race. Quick but steady wins the race. A modification of slow and steady wins the race. Quick but steady wins the race seems to be an easy topic, but remember there is little bit of trick. So the approach is very simple. It's both analytical as well as argumentative. Okay, it's both analytical as well as argumentative. So this topic, right? So let's begin. Like quick but steady. Okay, so you need to be fast paced yet consistent. You need to be fast paced yet consistent, right? And you should be absorbing all shocks. That's called a study, right? So one mistake that you might do is you may focus more on quick and not focus too much on steady, right? So steady means it has to remain neutral, calm, unbothered. So that part, absorbing all shocks, and you have to see how it leads to victory. Link. You have to always link it to victory. So link to victory. Now you can also bring in the counter dimension here. So the counter dimension is go to the classic slow but steady, slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race, because you here in this counter argument you can bring in the perils of pace. Like if you go way too fast, you may tumble. You may tumble. You may end up doing some things that you should not have done. So it should be slow and steady. And you can bring in an additional dimension. Okay, now additional or unique dimension, you tell me in the comment section. So what can you think is an additional or a unique dimension for this topic? From now onwards, all the additional and unique dimensions you have to tell me for this topic. Quick but studies. Come on, quickly, fast. I want you to think on your feet. I want fast comments here. Additional or unique dimension. I'm waiting. Oh, very good dimension here by Brijesh, right? If you're not running in the direction matters. Amazing. Shrikant also agrees with the same thing. Direction. Okay, Simran also direction. Kirti also right almost goes about. It's better to go unsteady towards the right direction. Good things come to those who wait, but things left behind by those who hustle. Okay, see now, Brijesh, Shrikant, Simran, Kirti, all of you spoke about the same thing. So, do you think that is really unique? Because four of you continuously, one after the other, you came up with the same, almost same thing in a different way of telling. But so that means it's not exactly unique. This with yours is good. Good things come to wait, but you have to link it to the topic here. Okay. Yeah, Ajay's is sort of good here. Sometimes we have to be quick on our feet, but can't have a steady, steady approach. You can bring in, actually, this was also my unique argument which I had prepared. Sometimes turbulence is necessary to get the best out of ourselves. What happens is when everything is steady, we may enter some sort of comfort zone. Steady means it can be a comfort zone, and that turbulence is at times needed to win the race. Sort of a counter argument come unique dimension. Yeah, too much focus on winning can be there, but again, always at the end of the essay, right? Okay, good. All right. So now I want in the next topic more unique ones. Okay, good job, everyone. We'll go to the next topic. Leadership. Okay, character of an institution is reflected in its leader, right? So it's largely a it's la- it is largely a analytical or an expository topic. Hardly any additional arguments you will be able to generate, but not you cannot negate this topic. Additional arguments you definitely can, but you cannot negate this topic because institution is a reflection of its leader, right? So, obviously, in the analysis, you can bring in how institutions mirror the head, and what exactly are the attributes of that mirror. And you can bring, obviously you will bring in both the positive examples and negative examples per se. Let's see what unique or additional dimensions you will be able to generate for this essay. Let me know in the comment section below. Unique dimension for this. Very simple topic, unique dimensions. Let me know here. Okay, not only the leaders but its members. It's a good one. Rather than, I'll phrase it better, collective efforts of the organization or collective efforts of the members of the organization. We can give the examples of our national movement here, right? So it's not just, yeah, Mahatma Gandhi is the core philosophy, but it's not just him, right? It's the collective effort that today's modern India is reflecting. Yeah, one nice counter Kirti has given here. Okay, it's a counter dimension. Like the leader, when it associates with an organization or institution, his character is also reflected. No, Ajay, that is not very apt. Okay, weakest member of an institution defines if the role has been justified or not. That's not clearly linked to the topic, right? Yeah, this is actually very nice dimension what Vishal tells here. Character of an institution also depends upon time and the situation and the way it reacts to circumstances. So circumstances change, right? So this is also a very good rejuvenate and analyze the part taken. I think that will be always a dimension in the body itself, nothing very unique about it. Our understanding of an organization or institution may be limited and leading to different perceptions of leadership. Yes, like because institution is much more than its leader, and we just see one perspective, so we can bring in the various aspects of various aspects of perspective. And you can also again bring in a unique counter dimension is, right, with respect to circumstances only, related to circumstances only, but we can bring it like a proper counter dimension of the uh, topic here. Sometimes institutions may not imbibe the characters of the leaders, not imbibe, and or or lose it over a period of time. So I'm saying here, institutions may not imbibe the characters of its leader or lose it over a period of time. The best example here will be the Myanmar coup that has happened, or the Bangladesh. What is happening here, right? So yeah, Aung San Suu Kyi, she tried to reflect her non-violence, project her non-violence, peaceful administration over Myanmar as a country. But over a period of time, it lost its track. Same happened in Bangladesh. Yeah, few more. Yeah, that is a ordinary dimension only, right? Uh, Character of institution also plays in forming a leader. Institutions build leaders. Yeah, it's a unique dimension, right? So good job here. Okay. Institutions with new character makes new leaders. Again, good job. Okay, good unique one. There may be one bad leader. It does not mean institution is corrupt. You can bring this in the earlier half. Okay, and Simran has come up with again a good one. Institutions provide continuity and leaders give fresh approach. In the end, being leaders end up being part of continued legacy. Again, very unique dimensions per se. Okay, institutions provide continuity because leaders come, leader goes, but they become part of continued legacy. Good job, everyone. Okay, though a very see when you inculcate, see there is no just one unique argument. I think of one, you think of one, together we think of many. But in the exam, ensure that at least 2 to 3 dimensions are unique than the others, right? So let's move on to the next one. Education without values, as full as it seems it, education without values, as useful as it is, seems rather to make a man more clever devil, right? Very simple. When education does not have values, I told you values is the most often asked topic. I think this year also one question will be something to do with values or its synonyms. Okay, so education without values, so as useful as it is, seems rather to make a man more clever devil. Topic is very simple and straightforward, and you have to largely agree with the topic. So this is an expository topic. You have to largely agree with it because sometimes that you cannot counter this. Yes, definitely you can generate some additional dimensions, we will see. So in the body you bring in, like, what happens when there is education without values. N number of examples you have at your disposal. Okay, it can bring greed, it can bring destruction, it can bring devastation, right? It can bring inequalities. So these are various dimensions that you could bring in. Okay, education without values, as it's full as it seems, rather to make a man more clever devil. Evade accountability, all the modern scams you can bring in, because the tips and tricks of how it's done, and this will help you to evade accountability, right? So this thing, and then you can bring in the necessity of values, like, value serves as a moral compass. Maybe it can lead to conscience based decision making, right? Yeah, now tell me some unique things that you can bring in this. Unique stuff, guys. Think that education with value or value neutral give man intellect, at least objective, and understanding of objective reality could make one attain value, and sometimes value itself is deceptive. Wow, very good, Arju. Okay, very nicely done. Just curious here, Arju, just in case you have to write this dimension, what will you use its substantiation for the argument that you have given, which is very valid. So what would you give it as its substantiation? Angle of wisdom, again, very routine, not nothing very unique. Yeah, application of values and learning, than learning values is more important. Yeah, that's also very apt. Okay, application of values than learning values. That's a very apt one. Okay, the agency of who is imparting the education. Okay, fine. That's also there. Okay, fine. Good substantiation. Okay, all right. So any more unique dimensions apart from Arju, other? Okay, okay, any more I want to see, because apart from Arju, Nothing like wow here. Like think. Come on, waiting. That's a very common one, Vishal. Okay, nothing like wow about that as well. Yeah, need of changing values because we have to evolve as per the changing needs, right? Values are relative. Now, the values would say that homosexuality is against the nature of humanity if it was 15 years, 20 years back. So, it is the purpose of education. So, education has to ensure that values also change with the changing times. Now, as I was giving the example of homosexuality here, right? Values would say that homosexuality is bad 20 years back, 25 or 30 years back. But now today, if there is acceptance with LGBT of LGBTQ community, it is because of the increased education. So education and value, though they run as parallel streams, should have a merger where they constantly upgrade each other for the benefit of humanity. Okay, so this is a very unique dimension. Value relativism, I think, can be done in the body only. Nothing very unique about that. Education without prejudice value is better sometimes. Yeah, this is also a unique dimensions. All right, one more. If I was there, one thing I could think of is objectivity is needed in values. Objectivity over idealism. Because now, if you just make it very idealistic value and like inculcate with respect to education, we may end up being behind. For example, you take nuclear weapons. Now, a person having a value of non-violence, non-violence should be a core value, but a person who is firm believer of non-violence will always oppose to nuclear weapons. But you need to have objective values over idealism. We cannot have idealistic values because in that case, if we do not develop any nuclear weapons, that means we are vulnerable. We are compromising our national security. So this will be one more unique dimensions. All right, I noted it down. Okay, I'll lean forward. All right, so let's go on to the next topic. Huh. Almost straight, relatively straightforward topic. Need brings greed. If greed increases, it spoils breed. Need brings greed. If greed increases, it spoils breed. So very simple. Initially, you have the need. Okay, the topic. Now, in satisfying that need, you become greedy, and that greediness leads to destruction. Now, spoils breed means not just it cannot be in individual, it can be a community, it can be society. So we started off with having our needs, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs you have. Okay, basic needs are satisfied. Now, once those basic needs are satisfied, you want more and more. That's greedy. And when you want too much, more and more, it leads to your destruction. If it can be an individual, it can be a community, it can be a country. And I think, to fair to say, you have to agree with this topic, largely expository or analytical, but it also be some arguments you can bring in, because you can always bring in this counter of saying that sometimes greed is needed, that capitalistic point of view, right? You can bring in that capitalistic point of view where you say that the greed is needed for growth and development. That is in the second half. Okay, in first half you have to analyze how you have to analyze that cycle. See, remember, there are two connections to be made here, two interlinkings to be made in the first half of the essay: need bringing in greed and greed spoiling the breed. So any examples, anything that you use has to show this very well: need bringing in greed and greed spoiling the breed. Proper correlation should be there. Now, one common mistake that you might do is you may show this part, need bringing in greed, or you may show greed spoils breed in isolation without interlink. Ensure that there should be proper interlink between need resulting in greed and greed spoiling the breed. All right, time for unique things here. So tell me what unique things that you can think of for this topic. Go ahead, waiting. And before you tell, materialism, inequality, that's all are routine dimensions. Okay, materialism, inequality. So these are all unique. I want unique dimensions. Okay, good answer here. Need does not always bring greed, could rather raise to true consciousness about one's objective reality. Need leads to development, innovation, and creativity. Good one. Good. It's a sort of a counter dimension also here, and also a unique argument saying that sometimes when we lack something, we actually realize its true need. And once we realize its true need, it may not always results in greed, right? Mark, if you have to substantiate your good argument, which example will you use? Just let me know. There's a thin line between what constitutes need and greed. So people need to be taught that what is greed, otherwise they might perceive their instincts as need only. Again, good enough. Okay, good enough. Need brings understanding of deprivation, and then it would lead to initiation of change to at least for basic need. That greed at least is needed for survival. Very good, Arjun. Okay, greeds of past, greeds of past becoming present day needs, which will spoil future breed. Lack of sustainability. Very well put here. Examples can be little better. Okay, but greeds of past becoming present day needs, which will spoil our future breed. Very well written here. Needs change across time and space. Okay, greed of past can be need for future. Yeah, very well. Good. Okay, so this is there, and you can also show the vicious cycle itself, right? When you say need bring greeds, and if it spoils the breed, you are back at square one, right? Whatever you did, okay, you are back at square one, right? Spoiling of breed will again results in the basic needs. Okay, spoiling of breed will again results in uh, basic needs, right? So that's something that you can do. Okay, a fairly easy topic. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Now, yeah, before we can tell the approach, the topic is simple. Now, what it means is when somebody has to say thanks or express their gratitude. the first thing they express it is whether happiness or joy or a smile that they have on their face, right? So that's what this topic means. It's not very complicated. So when somebody is expressing their gratitude, it's often starts even before they can say thanks, right? It starts with a simple smile, a joy, a happiness is seen in their face, right? So that is something that you have to analyze in the essay. So largely, as you I think you all know, largely it is an analytical or expository topic, and definitely it can have some additional arguments or additional dimensions, right? And you can actually generate one counter saying that saying thanks or gratitude is gratitude. Happiness is just an positive externality of act being done. That can be a counter also, but largely this topic is expository or analytical. All right. So very simple here. You know, first in the body, in an interlinked manner, how how joy is a expression of gratitude. The simplest expression of gratitude you have to bring in. Okay, simple expression. It can be a smile. It can be a liberation, right? Very simply, you have to analyze that the interlink between joy and gratitude. Let's move on to the unique dimension, guys. Shoot. Okay, unique dimensions. So, what unique dimensions can you generate for this topic? Joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Come on, quickly. Unique lines here. Not that great. At times, happy tears are the most simplest form of gratitude. Yeah, that's actually unique. Happy tears. Okay, joy is the means to express gratitude. We do not need materialistic things to express gratitude. Theories of means and ends. Good. Sometimes joy could be artificial to deceive. I don't think that is very apt here. Okay, because this is a very fairly simple topic. Okay, any more? Come on, any more? Yeah, gratitude is subjective from a receiver's point of view. For a receiver, okay, the gratitude can be gratitude. Like how will now? Let's say you help somebody. Let's say you help somebody, and you just the person whom you help just smiled, and you are like, okay, he smiled, man. There may be a communication gap, right? Okay, I helped somebody. The least I deserved was a thank you, and that person just smiled, right? So very nicely done. No, passing on the help to others is the real gratitude. Good. Okay, paying it forward. Okay, uh, good enough. No need to always express joy and gratitude. Okay, Biggest form of gratitude is laying down one's life. No, that will be like that will not fit well into the topic here. Bring grateful attitude is the best reactions to all situations, which helps in personal and societal growth. Yeah, fair enough. That is also fair enough. So one more thing I think you can bring in unique is gratitude leading to joy. Because if we express gratitude out loud, it not only creates the happiness in the person who has just heard that how the other person is grateful, you also expressing gratitude will feel happy. So gratitude leading to joy can also be a apt dimension here, right? And when you see sometimes you know making a person like like let's say a person is going through a tough time, just making him smile or making him laugh could be the highest or the complex form of gratitude, because since that person is going through a tough time, they may not be in a position to express joy or to show smile. If you can make that person who is going through a tough times just smile or have a hearty laugh, that's the most complex form of gratitude expressed via simple smile or a laugh. Okay, that also can be one more unique dimensions. All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, this is a interesting topic. Okay, we may we may brave human laws, but cannot resist natural laws. So before we can see how to approach this topic, what would be the best fit approach? Now, let's understand this topic here. We may brave human laws, but cannot resist natural laws. So, what it means here is we may brave natural laws, cannot resist natural laws. Is so there are two types of laws. It is saying one is laws made by humans. Now, laws made by humans can be constitution, it can be rules, regulations, anything, or simply put laws. And then it says there are natural laws, like universal laws. These laws will be eternal, and the nature will maintain them, not human beings. See, the human laws are maintained by humans, law, order, everything. And then these natural laws are universal, eternal, and nature. So the topic says you can escape the laws that are made by the humans, but nature always catches up. There is no escaping or resisting the natural laws. And then in the approach you should take is both the approach that you should take is both expository as well as argumentative. Largely expository. At the end, you can definitely generate additional arguments at the least. We'll see that. And then you tell, like, then you tell here that how you can brave human laws. This will always have loopholes. This will always have people not obeying. There is always the aspect of escaping from the laws. But, but, the natural laws have to be upheld. For example, when we violate natural law, nature always catches up. Let's say you can give the aspect of landslides that are happening. We built construction where nature was, and you can bring the aspect natural law. Gravity is a natural law. Flow of river is a natural law. You're damming and building dams where it should not be built. And natural law is reset. The landslides are an outcome of natural law taking effort. Right? You can bring in the aspect of genetic modification, or you can actually okay. And let me see what unique before I can tell my unique thing. What unique things can you bring in here? Okay, talking to the dead person using artificial intelligence. Okay, but how does it fit it right into the topic? Okay, Malthusian theory also fits. No, this is not about conscience. This is about nature. Yeah, one natural law could be conscience, but talk more broadly. Natural laws are influencing human laws. Okay, natural laws are influencing human laws. Designer babies disaster. Okay, very good. Human will is stronger than natural law. Okay, the counter argument per se, exactly, Dashrath Manji. Okay, okay, human laws, societal laws created two gender norms, but natural laws are now expressing queer society. Fine. Okay, fair enough. Okay, couple more from my end because it's a very interesting topic per se. So nature always catch up even the most advancement of science. Let's say Saroja here told about the designer babies. That is becoming a disaster. You have most advanced of biotechnology, but still it is becoming a disaster. Or you can modify, you can design, you can do anything to the body, but death is inevitable. So many people right since ancient times have tried to develop tech to not to overcome death. Nobody could have prevented death. And it time and again nature has shown that no matter what you create, because even when human laws are in absence, or no matter what you create, nature law will be present. So human law may be silent because on some aspects human law may be silent, but nature law expresses itself. Natural law expresses itself. Now where, for example, you can take that Titan submarine or ocean gate thing that you heard. Now was it legal, illegal? Now law is silent on that. Going to the deep sea Titanic to see the Titanic, but the natural law of pressure took over. They are the most advanced of tech. They human laws were, they could brave it, but the natural law of pressure, that as you go deeper and deeper pressure increases, led to the bursting of that Titan submarine, resulting in death. And okay, human laws are a subset of natural laws. Okay, natural laws teach lesson. Fair enough. Human laws, this is a very good dimension. Human laws should be the reflection of natural laws, as natural laws are much more refined and neutral, expressing considering its evolution. Okay, that is a very nice, unique dimension. Harmony should be there between human law and natural law. I'll just refine it here, Brijesh. So, harmony should be there between human laws and natural laws, or nature will ensure that if there is no harmony, nature will ensure that natural law subsumes human law, or it will ensure that human law has to align to natural law if there is no harmony. Now, for example, to substantiate this, let's take the example of industrial revolution and global warming. Now, prior to industrial revolution, both human law and natural law with respect to this were in harmony. After after industrial revolution, humans broke all the natural laws that could be broken. Now there was a disharmony between a human law and natural law because industries, as per human law, are right, and nature started showing its disagreement with that by global warming. And now we have carbon tax. That means human laws, nature has made human laws in sync with natural laws because humans violated the natural. So now carbon tax, the laws that they are bringing in, this carbon neutrality, carbon tax is nothing but this only. Nature claiming back synchronization with human laws. As simple as that. All right. Enough of this topic. Let's go to the next one. Very simple. A good life is one which is inspired by love and guided by knowledge. So, straightforward topic here. Okay. So, largely it is expository in nature. So, good life is one inspired by love. So, love serves as an inspiration. It serves as a motivation. It's a passion. Whereas knowledge will serve like a compass. It will serve. It will provide vision. It will provide foresight. And in the body, you will see and always remember in an interlinked way. So, in the first part of the body, you can give the context of what love does: motivation, passion, determination. Guided by knowledge, knowledge gives you a compass, gives you a direction, it gives you vision, it gives you a foresight. Now, tell me some unique dimensions that can be taken here. Unique dimensions for this. Come on, quickly. No, love part, wisdom is needed. Okay. Always remember, if knowledge is there, 90% of the time you bring in wisdom, but 10% of the time it does not fit in well enough. Yeah, this is a good dimension by Arju. Good life is which inspires others to love and builds capacity and the knowledge to control hate. Good enough. And add little bit of knowledge there. Good life is which inspires others to love and the knowledge which builds capacity and knowledge to control hate. Good. Good life can also be derived from bad experiences and learning from them. That is the education part. Good. Love may force to do bad action. Example, Pune realtor case. Okay. Yeah, that is actually a apt counter here. Sometimes when you are too much inspired by love, okay, and not guided by right knowledge, that may lead us to our annihilation. So you can bring in the balance part. So love, the inspiration of love and knowledge and wisdom should be in balance. Subjectivity of good life. So good life is very subjective, right? That's actually very unique dimension. Good life is very subjective. So what's good for me, it's not good for you. So you can tell, you can actually bring in. I'll further hone this one. Okay, taking the hint from Shrikant, right? Since good life is subjective, because good, bad, they're all subjective. What we can say is life, a moral life can be inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Okay, a moral life, rather than moral, I think it will be better to use a content life. A content life that is largely good. Content life inspired by love, guided by knowledge is largely good for all. Few more. What is love to one may be knowledge to other, and other way around. Very good. Rationality required to use knowledge and to serve good life with love. Again, good enough. Okay. So good job. Now you have all warmed up. Okay. So brace yourself. This is just the start. We have a lot of topics to cover. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Customary morality cannot be cannot be a guide to modern life. Fairly simple topic. Customary morality cannot be a guide to modern life. Okay, whatever we derive from customs, whatever we derive from traditions, okay, whatever we derive from the past, okay, cannot be a guide to modern life. And I think it is it is both it is both argumentative and analytical, because one counter argument directly generates some customs are needed. We cannot discard some customs of, let's say, non-violence, truth, empathy, because these customary morality comes from the past, is also needed in the present. So that has to be done in the second half of the essay. You have to bring in this counter dimension. And you can start off with how customary morality, or the negatives of customary morality, and why we need to shed them in the contemporary times, in the modern times. How exactly the customary moralities, it can be, superstition, injustice, gender inequality, or any other sort of inequality, caste, against the freedoms, right? So as there you can, and obviously give examples, substantiate, and tell that okay, he, in this case, customary morality cannot be a guide to modern life. And then you bring in the need of customary morality. Even if there are certain values across time and space: truth, compassion, kindness, honesty, blah blah blah, etc. And then you can bring one more dimension, like it should be a balance between both the customary morality of the past and adapt it to the future. So these are the general dimensions that you take. Now tell me, unique ones, guys. Unique dimensions. Multiple modernities. Couldn't get it. More, can express it a little more clearly. Our perception of modern life needs to be changed. We often mix modernizations with westernization, which is okay. Changing perceptions is a good one. Okay, changing perception is a good one. Okay, modern life guides in creating modern customs and new morality. Very good. Okay, you have to adapt to the changing times. Good. Mistaken conceptions of modernity, that everything traditional needs to change. This is a counter dimension, not a unique dimension per se. Okay, so this can be a good counter dimension, Margi. More. Customary morality to constitutional morality is part two, modernity. Okay, good enough. Then come on quickly. Subjectivity of modern life, yes, that you can bring in. Okay, this is a nice one. Compass to judge customary morality might itself be a reflection of some other customary morality. The subjectivity part, good. Customary morality per se is not bad. It was products of its time. So what is needed it to make it better for future generation? Well written. When customs are backed by reason, analysis, and introspection, it it is way of modernity. But when just guided by counter traditionality, can lead to mimicking of just Western lifestyles. Very well. Okay. Uh, Not everyone shares the same morals in the modern era. This results in clashes. Hence, we need a common set of morals, adaptable morals, okay, from customs. Modern life exists when it is in contrast with outdated customary morality, and add their similar and accepts universal values. In a greater perspective, a life shouldn't be guided by anything but freedom. Again, a debatable topic. Make it more better by adding more values, like truth, integrity, like that. Okay, so that be it customary or not, freedom, truth, these things you can add. Okay, modernization of customary moralities. Example: caste-based matrimonial sites. Yeah, it could come in the first half of the essay only, Shrikant, this one. Customary morality changes with each society. Value is good in some society and maybe unexpected. Relativism, okay? Even need of evolution of modern life, okay? The relativism is not unique here, okay? Relativism has to come in the essay itself. Yeah, this is a good dimension by Bridges. There should be a tolerance in accepting customary morality of the others and embrace the same. The tolerance part, okay, can be a good one. You can also bring in, customary morality. You can also bring in at times that customary morality at times can offer solutions to some problems. For example, customs such as sacred groves. Customs such as sacred groves are a simple solution to environmental destruction or biodiversity conservation. As simple as that. So some customary morality is needed because sometimes it can just offer simple solutions to modern day problems. So we can find some solutions. Sacred groves, for example, there. All right. So let's go on to the next one, guys. The past is a permanent dimension of human consciousness. So the past, in quotes, is a permanent dimension of human consciousness and values. Yes, it can be both argumentative and analytical or expository. Now the thing here is, if you remember if you have written the test three, there was a similar topic, not exactly same, similar, right? We are not, we are what we are because we have been what we have been, right? So that topic is similar to this, right? That means here the past shapes the present with respect to consciousness and as well as the human value. Now, in the analysis, you can bring on the various aspects of how past shapes all that. You can bring in the various aspects of habits, hierarchy of values. You can bring in the aspects of nationalism, because nationalism past played a very important part in the emergence of nationalism, right? So, and it can also be certain negative aspects like trauma. So, in this way, the past is permanent, and we pick up our habits, hierarchy of values, aspects of nationalism, trauma, personality, character. Okay, so a lot of things you can analyze here. But after this, you have to go into a counter dimension where you say that no, human beings change. They pick up new things. They forget old things, right? So, in that way, you can write the like arguments and the counter arguments, including a bit of analysis. Now, let's see what unique that you can add here. Unique dimensions, guys. Shoot. Past with present day objective understanding can lead to imagination and new consciousness. Fine. Fair. Just bring in the Arju, to make it better. You can bring in the aspect of unlearning and relearning from time to time. Unlearning and relearning from time to time. Manipulation of past created by wrong conscious. Yeah, rewriting of history. Okay, manipulation is one more thing. Okay. Okay, Vishal, fair enough, but that should come in the first half of body. Nothing unique with respect to that. Yeah, this is a good dimension. Changing the past does not guarantee a change in the future, or even worse, the destruction of the future. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, any more? Anymore? Okay. So I'll give a couple which I could think of. Like, yeah, past is definitely okay. One aspect of permanent dimension of human consciousness and values, but human consciousness and values are also affected by what we call it as episodic memory. Now, what exactly is this episodic memory means? You just have one episode which will determine your present actions. You don't take a whole picture, you just take one episode. For example, this assassination of Saunders by Bhagat Singh and its associates. Now, he was assassinated to avenge the death of Lala Lajpat Rai. That is just one episode, which is sort of different from the larger picture here, that is the freedom struggle. See, these all were undoubtedly freedom fighters, but the thing here is, it was all done to avenge one incident, the assassination of Saunders. That is called as episodic memory, when it is sort of different from the larger picture. So sometimes our present actions or our consciousness rather than taking the entire past, can be an outcome of the present picture or present episodic memory, or just one episodic memory, right? And yeah, one more unique thing that I can tell of is, over a period of time, past becomes diluted, leading to historical amnesia. So the past gets diluted so much that it results in the historical amnesia. It means people forget what exactly had happened in the past, and that leads to the that leads to the dilution of consciousness and values itself. You can give examples of, fringe groups criticizing or celebrating the death of Mahatma Gandhi, or his day of on his day of assassination, or praising Nathuram Godse, or what happened recently in Bangladesh. That is also one case of historical amnesia, because Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of Sheikh Hasina, gave his life for the country, and Sheikh Hasina played a very important part in bringing back order to Bangladesh, ensuring its economic growth. But what happened was a classic case of historical amnesia, where people forgot. Yes, there were issues, but that instead of dealing with them constitutionally, they just went on a rampage. Okay, change is constant, so past presents are nothing but unraveling of time, not time traveling. Past, if taken out of consciousness, then history can repeat itself as a tragedy and then as a farce. Arjun, this topic is going to come later on. Okay, but nice, good job. It's a, you have a linked 2021 wala topic, and good job there. The classic chicken and egg dilemma, both chicken and egg are determined the uh, present day form. Hence, we can say that the future also affects the present, and everything is connected. Well done, Ajay. Okay, so well done. All right. So let's go on to the next one. A people that values its privileges over principles lose both. Okay, so that means those people who value personal gain above values or principles will lose both principles as well as the personal gain in the long run. A very simple topic, and I think it is largely expository, okay, largely analytical. See, hardly any additional dimensions you can generate, additional arguments you can generate, but largely you have to agree with it. You cannot tell that, okay, no, people who just value their privileges and do not care about principles end up succeeding. That will not be a very apt thing to do here. All right, so going on here, okay, so do the analysis. Or- and again, here you have to be very crystal clear here that there should be proper interlink in the body. You will get a lot of examples from Louis the 16th to Vijay Mallya. So proper interlink the topic to determine how ethical decay will happen when we prioritize our materialistic pursuits. Like, you can bring in how one may prioritize their materialistic pursuit over other things. Okay, and you can bring in the n number of aspects here. Let's go to the unique dimensions. Yeah, Pooja Kedkar is the living example. Yes, unfortunately, I have to agree with it. Okay, I'm not still sure if you can use it. I think you can use it, man. I can, because it's a national example. Because I generally tell, do not use references with respect to UPSC directly or IAS officers. But this is something that is a classic case. You can use Pooja Khedkar in your ethics also, in your essay also. Do not use it too much. Okay, do not use it like in especially in GS4. Do not use it for every example of abuse of power, lack of accountability, lack of integrity. Right? For each and everything, do not use that. Okay, but once or twice you definitely can. Okay, coming here, what seems privilege is just upholding principles of equality, right? Yeah, could have been a little modified here. I'll modify it. What seems privilege is just sometimes upholding the principle of equality, and this is demonstrated by the affirmative action or reservation. And some people consider it as a privilege, but it is just correcting some historical wrong. If privileges derived from principles of equality and justice, not an issue. Again, good. What's the use of principles if we don't give privileges appreciating its subjectivity? Decent enough? Okay. Principles bring privileges to people. Ah, nice. Well done, Shrikant. Okay. Principles bring privileges to people. Very nicely. Shrikant, I'm just curious, what example will you use to substantiate this with respect to principles bring privileges to people? Privileges can be used in the right way to spread their principles. Like I want like proper examples. Like if you have to substantiate this, anybody else also can help, Shrikant. Affirmative action, don't tell because it's already covered. Something new, something new. Malala can be a good one. Okay. And also remember, okay, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar also. And the Simran says privileges can be principled if turned into responsibility. Again, a good dimension here. Okay. Privileges can be principled if turned into responsibility. Good dimension here again. Right. And yeah. So one more thing that you have to note here is if at all you are using cliche, you can use your cliche and like in two essays there will always be cliches that you will be using, but ensure that your cliches are much better than your competitors. It all comes down to your example. Okay, it all comes down to the examples. So far in the session you have not used much cliches, but like, it's like a domino effect. Okay. Malala led to Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, then to Mahatma Gandhi simplicity, and Gautam Buddha has arrived in today's class. Okay, so I was waiting when will Buddha arrive. Okay, though we did not stress too much on example here in this session, only a few times, but yes, cliches have come. You have to and you will use cliches, but ensure that the expression of that cliche, what you write and how you link to the topic, okay, is much better than your competitors. So sometimes not everything can be unique. Try to be as unique as possible. In the next session, in the next sessions, what we are going to learn is I'll teach you a simple technique of how to, if you have a unique, let's say for a one substantiation, you are able to think of one unique example and one cliched example. So how to use it, right? So we will sort of figure it out, okay, in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so one more unique dimension that I can think of here is sometimes, like it may be a dilemma to actually distinguish what is a principle and what is a privilege. right? So it may be a dilemmatic scenario. It may actually be a gray area to distinguish between a privilege and a principle. For example, you can say about Jallikattu, right? The banning of Jallikattu. Now, it's a matter of principle. It is also a matter of privilege. Now, what exactly is that? Where are we taking away some aspect of culture? That is also a principle. Or are we considering the principle of animal rights? Or are we targeting the or focusing on the privilege of the people or the organizers? So sometimes it may be a very dilemma because the line might be very fine between a privilege and a principle. And this is also a good one. Principles are a reflection of value one want to possess, while privilege reflects the value which one reflects the value which one embraces. Good one. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Slightly complicated on the overview, but I think a straightforward topic. Reality does not conform to the ideal, but confirms it. So, what exactly does it mean? Now, always, as I say, unless you are 100% sure that you understand the topic, 100% sure that you understand the topic, do not go with it. Now, very simple. Reality is not as how we expect it, but reality is not exactly as how we expect it, but reality, which is not idealistic. So, we always expect idealistic things. So, reality is not exactly how it is. But from our reality, it shapes the ideal. So it's not as we expect how the ideal is, it's the reality that shapes the ideal. Means that's what the second half tells, but comes confirms it. It is slightly a complicated topic, and if you do not understand it, or if you have even a little bit of hunch that you may digress from the topic, kindly avoid it. So reality is not as expected. Our expectations, like do not shape the reality. But when reality, what happens? The experiences that we have with respect to reality, that actually shapes the ideal, and it is sort of a process, as simple as that, right? And it is both an expository topic as well as an argumentative topic, right? So you can just bring in where reality may also serve as a, what you call it, as a testing ground for the ideal, because reality is very much different from the ideal. So sometimes reality serves as a testing ground in the analysis. So what you can give the example of the Sabrimala case. So the ideal was to bring in the gender justice, gender equality between men and women entering the temples. But the thing here is the reality does not conform to that. The reality is people did not allow that to happen. People wanted to preserve tradition. So that is something why the women were not allowed, and it became such a big issue, and protests were organized. I know it's a little difficult topic, but I wanted to generate at least a few unique dimensions. Go ahead. Let's see what you got. Come on. I know it's not a very straightforward one, but still. Okay, reality is a very powerful thing. We either run away from it or change it. Yeah, well enough. Good. Embrace it. Things don't happen the way we think, but we have to embrace it. Good. Any more? I'm waiting. Ah, very nicely done. Objective realization of subjective reality could leads to action or change in ideas. Accepting the reality could be the first step for changing it. It should come in the body only at the first half only, right? So that sometimes idealism opens the door to explore reality. Actually, a very unique point. Idealism can serve as a guiding star or benchmark for reality. Like Vishal also says, idealism is an utopian, but the reality of accepting the accepting reality is means to establish a utopian society. Yeah, fine. So idealism can serve definitely as a guiding star, but also you can tell, like ideal at striving for or aspiring for idealism could lead to continuous refinement of reality. It's like continuous improvement, step by step, step by step refinement, because we are trying for something, as they say, right? Like aim for the stars. If you miss, you may land up on moon. So in that way, continuous refinement, though reality does not confirm ideal, but lead to change reality to the nearest ideal. Good enough, right? So good job. Hmm. Nice, interesting ones. Okay, let's move on to wisdom finds truth. It's a very simple topic. Let's skip and you just do this at home. Some of the topics I'll be giving as homework. Okay, so this you do it at home. Okay, very easy. Okay, let's go to this one. Again, this is similar to the previous topic itself, right? I'll just explain it to the topic. It's very similar to this one. Okay, so values are not what humanity is. Like that means it tells values are a guiding star for what humanity should be. Guide for humanity, and it is both expository as well as argumentative, because you can uh, argue, because from the values itself we have humanity, because what humanity ought to be is again ideal here or idealistic. So values are what humanity is, right? So this is again fairly simple. Let's just see if at all you can generate any unique ones for this, any new unique ones apart from the ones that we have seen so far. Any unique ones here, guys? Come on, quickly. See, as you are seeing, values are always something that is more often than not repeated. Okay, humanity is the value itself. Good. Okay, humanity is a value itself. So values are almost every year you may, or every alternate year at least you will have a value related or directly values like this. Okay, so That is one thing that you have to keep in mind. Anything unique? Come on. Waiting. Come on, quickly. With respect to this topic, with respect to previous one, you generated a quite a few, right? With respect to this topic, this one was nice. Humanity is the value itself. Being humane shapes desirable values. Mm, mm, okay, to an extent. Anything else? Being human is subjective in itself. Then how can values define humanity? No, no, too far-fetched, Lekhan. Okay, too far-fetched. See, one unique dimension that I can think of is we need to reconcile values with human imperfections. Values with human imperfections, and that is what humanity is. Because anytime, any point of time, anywhere, there will always be human imperfections, and value should accommodate that human imperfections, and that what humanity is. It cannot be very rigid. Okay, so this is one thing. Let's go on to the next one. Best for an individual is not necessarily best for the society. No, very simple, right? So it's both argumentative as well as expository topic. This one is both argumentative aspect as well as expository topic. So first half we can see how best for an individual is not necessarily best for the society, self-interest, right? Like various aspects of self-interest, destruction. And second off, you can bring in that capitalistic thought, the trickle down, the capitalism, where best for an individual is best for the society, right? You can also bring in the various aspects of there is a social contract, okay, that it should be collective efforts, not just a individual effort, individual's effort, right? So this is the thing. Now, what unique things will you write here, guys? Unique things. Come on, quickly. Waiting. best for an individual is not necessarily best for the society. Individual aspects. Come on, you cannot take the foot off the gas. Even in the actual exam, three hours you have to be at your best. Ethical egoism versus ethical altruism. Okay, if someone is not good, if something is not good for beehive, it is also not good for bees. Marcus Aurelius. Okay, who decides what is best for society? Srikanth has gone into full question mode, right? One after the other, they are posing questions. Fine, fair enough. Anything else? Okay, clash between individual needs and societal needs leads to a breakdown. That's quite a common one. What's when the best outcome are thought from a longer and larger perspective, best for a individual and society seems harmonious. Very good dimensions. One more dimension that you could write here is something called as tragedy of commons. So, what is tragedy of commons is when we mindlessly exploit something which is a common resource that leads to deterioration of everything associated with that. For example, let's say the mindlessly exploitation of industries led to air pollution, water pollution, right? So tragedy of commons is something that you can very well bring in when you mindlessly exploit something. Okay, that actually sometimes results in very much negative externalities. Okay, sometimes best for both individual and society may not be best for nature. Good enough. Best for society may not be the best for individual. That's a counter argument that you can easily do. Of course, best for individual is not necessarily best for society, but best for individual community, best for society. Fair enough. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Courage to accept, dedication to improve are two keys to success. I don't think much is needed here. This is a very simple topic. You do it as a homework for this one. Life is a long journey between human being and being humane. Very similar to these ones. Values are not what humanity is, and this one. Reality does not conform to the ideal, but confirms it. We'll directly jump to the unique dimension here. So, what unique thing you can say? See, normally, we'll talk about learning, moral compass, you picking up values as a child by parents, as a kid by teachers, then friends, social media, and then sometimes you can bring in the. This is generally an expository topic as well as argumentative topic because sometimes people keep on falling off. Okay, they never end up being human. That is the one counter dimension. People always have that selfish interest. I directly want to jump into the this one unique dimensions. Okay, yeah, go ahead. What unique dimension? Life is a long journey between human being and being human, being born and achieving the humane nature. Come on, quickly. Oh, it can be a short journey with right wisdom at right time. That's amazing dimension there. Okay, so it can act. It if we can learn everything at a stretch, if we can all improvise everything at a stretch, learn it. It can actually be a short journey with right insight and right wisdom. Good. Mm, being human and human being influences each other. Fine. Long life human being versus good life being human. Very good. Okay, long life of human being versus good life of being human. Journey is a social capital which when shared and celebrated by foundation of humanism. Fair enough. There's nothing like being human. Life is a continuous process. So you're saying that there is continuous improvement, there are continuous learning. So I will refine Brajesh's comment here. Okay, so being human might not be an end goal. It can continuously evolve as time changes, humans changes, environment changes. Okay, so it is a continuous process. So express it a little better, Brajesh. Okay, as being human is constant and lifelong processes. So in fact life is not just long journey but endless journey. Okay, fine. Little bit more expression. Okay, was needed. Otherwise, fair enough. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Okay, welcome change here. A little bit of a new thing here. Apart from mindful manifesto, is the catalyst to tranquil self. That means mindfulness, okay, acts as a catalyst for tranquility, inner peace. Okay, as simple as that. It can be interpreted at an individual level or at a all levels that you possibly can think of. Right, but the key here is mindfulness. Mindful manifesto is the catalyst to the tranquil self. Okay, largely expository here. You have to see how mindfulness leads to tranquility. Can generate little bit of additional arguments saying that there, like mindfulness uh, sometimes is not enough for tranquility, especially if there are a lot of chaos going around you. Okay, if you are going through some personal issues or global issues, so that can ruin tranquility. So both analytical dimensions in the body as well as argumentative couple of arguments. Let's move on to the unique dimension. So what unique dimensions can you generate? Come on, go ahead. And remember, in this topic, in with respect to mindfulness, you have to tell like how exactly, mindfulness can make you more self-aware. Mindfulness can make you understand your strengths, understand your limitation, and mindfulness can also lead to acceptance. Like, okay, these are your shortcomings. I have to accept these shortcomings, right? So these things are there. All right. Now, unique dimensions. Now, tell me the unique dimensions. Okay. Sometimes tranquility is prior to mindfulness. Yes. Sometimes word has to be used here, otherwise it will not make coherent sense. Okay, counter sort of a counter dimension here. Okay, yeah, any more, any more dimensions? Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah, any more dimensions, guys? Tranquility is the first step to achieve. Guys, you are all being little rusty. Come on. A man who knows himself alone. Link to the topic is not there, Ajay. Link to the topic. Sometimes tranquil self, guys, take a deep breath, be mindful, and give me unique dimensions. You're all giving me very semi-unique dimensions. Now, see here, there's a word catalyst. Now, what is the purpose of a catalyst? As must have studied in basic chemistry, it accelerates the rate of reaction. Means whatever the ingredients are there, so catalyst will accelerate the rate of reaction. So that means there must be some basic ingredients here. If mindful manifesto is becoming the catalyst, so at least there must be some basic ingredients. So tell, like what can be the basic ingredients for a tranquil self, for mindfulness to act as a catalyst. It can be empathy, kind heart, contentment, anything. You don't have to use all of this. Love combined with the catalyst of mindfulness or mindful manifesto leads to tranquility. Just mindfulness is not the source here. It says catalyst. Catalyst always accelerate the rate of reaction. All right, let's go on to the next one. Huh. This, so we have already done this in the skill enhancement classes. Okay, we have used this topic. So unique dimensions, I think I don't remember. I think we generated there itself. If not, you do it at home. We have anyway sufficiently covered this. Let's go on to the next one. This is a nice one. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So largely expository, and sometimes you can generate arguments also here, but largely expository here. So you have to see how simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You have to bring in the various dimensions of superficiality, like where people do too much superficial things, shallow things also you can bring in. Okay, in name of sophistication, superficial things, shallow things are preferring quantity over quality, quantity over quality, overdoing anything that's not needed. It's when things are simple, they are very sophisticated. So what unique dimensions, guys, can you think of for this unique dimension for this? Simple, in body again, simplicity, affect, like effectiveness. Simple is effective. When it's simple, it's very crystal clear, and crystal clear can make it very sophisticated. Any unique dimension or counter dimension? Yeah, good one, Ajay. Repetition of a simple task over a period of time is the toughest task to do. Very well, very well said. Very nice counter argument here by Brijesh. Sometimes staying under the impression of simplicity prevents our inner zeal and eventually growth. And one more very nice dimension here. Simple may be easy to understand but tough to implement. Simplicity demands discipline, which is complex for human, with short-term happiness as contentment. Good. And actually, you can bring in simplicity requires a lot of practice, refinement. I'm just curious here. All the counter arguments, like simplicity is easy to understand but tough to implement. If any example you have to give, what example will you give? You're saying, right? Easy to understand, complex to interpret. Yeah, valid. I agree. Example, substantiation of that. What will you use? So this is also a very good argument, guys. Here, simplicity becomes sophistication when one chooses it, but not when it is imposed. Very, very nice argument. Now, example for that, right? You know how it is tough to implement or tough to master, as it requires continuous refinement. Okay, UNS reform, good, but it's not exactly a simple thing, na? Uh, It's actually a complex thing. What else? Come on, quickly. We have few more topics after this, and rest topics I'll give as homework. Talking about is simple. Okay, okay. Now I got it. Okay. See, words make a hell lot of difference. Okay, okay. Talking about it. All right. Guys, waiting, waiting. Come on. Rajesh gave me one. Others. Imagine you are in the examination hall, you are running out of time and you have to think under pressure. Always in the last month, my request is train your brain to think under pressure, because no matter how well you prepare, there will always be at times in either essay or GS1, 2, 3, 4, or in your optional somewhere where because it's not a T20, it's a test match where you have 5 days of performance that determines your rank. So it's better that one or the other day you will be under pressure. Okay. So train your brain to think and perform under pressure. Funsuk Wangdu. Okay. Good. Okay. Simplicity comes after multiple sophistications. And, yeah, that is also a good unique dimension, but I want this thing. And again, I want to remind you, unique dimensions should not come in the first half of the essay, always in the second half. Because just because it is unique, what will happen is generally unique dimension will not be perfectly aligning to the entirety of the topic. It may be a counter dimension, it may be an additional dimension, or it may be an additional analysis. So if you directly bring it in the first half of the body, immediately after introduction, it may give a hint to the examiner that you may not have understood the topic well. So always start by supporting. Okay, so like structure your essays well. Satyagraha, very well. Okay, practice of non-violence, Satyagraha, good. Right. And one like like our scientific teachings, right? Right, with respect to basic methods, practicing that. Okay, or mindfulness, for example, right? Seems very simple, meditation or mindfulness, right? But becomes very difficult. Or scientific teachings, or even habit formation, good habits like like honesty might seem very simple, but requires a lot of conviction there. All right, so let's go to the next one, guys. Yeah, this is a little bit of a tougher topic. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we have. I'll tell you what, like I'll just decipher the topic, and you tell me the various aspects of unique dimension. This can be both. First, I'll tell what exactly topic means. Culture is what we are. So that means our customs, our traditions, our beliefs, etc. Make us. And civilization is what we are. Civilization is what we have. Is this is an outcome of culture. So culture leads us to building civilization. Civilizations can be our cities, It can be your art, it can be your architecture, it, it can be our way of life. So, culture, that is customs, traditions, belief, all the aspects of culture, what you study in art and culture, right? So, make us, and one outcome of that is what we get is civilization. In the city is art, architecture, way of life, and in the body, you can bring it can be both expository as well as analytical. You can interlink how from culture we get civilization, like from Harappan civilization to modern civilization to Egyptian, Roman, anything. Okay, and etc. And you can also generate counter dimensions, like one counter dimension could be from civilization we get culture, right? So from civilization we get culture. It can be both a counter and a unique dimension, right? So on those lines, you can think and tell me some more unique dimensions here. Come on, quickly, guys. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we get. And one more thing here is culture is largely bit intangible here, whereas civilization has more tangibility to it. Like customs, traditions, beliefs are sort of intangible, but when I see the aspects of cities, art, architecture, way of life, this becomes more tangible. That can also be one dimension in the body. Now, tell me, unique, quickly. Culture reflects the blueprint of thought process, and civilizations are the projects of those blueprints. Very good, Ajay. Come on, others. Buckle up, buckle up. What else? What else could be a unique dimension here? Culture offers us a way of understanding the civilization. Good enough. Not as unique as the previous one, Ajay, but good enough. But not civilization. Hmm, is there a better way to express that? Culture and civilization diverge from each other. Like social events are part of culture, not of civilization. Or rather than saying not of civilization, tell them are not accepted to be in a civilization, right? So we can leave some cultural aspects of the past in the past. Okay, little bit better. Civilization reflects highest value embraced by the society, while culture is a reflection of past and accumulated value. Good enough. Could be in the body also, or it could be used as a unique dimension also. Good analysis here. Okay. One more I can think of here is culture is preserved and sustained by civilization. Preserved and sustained by civilization. Like for this one example, good example I can think of was, you remember the dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro, right? Or as I like to call her, Nora Fatehi of Mohenjo-daro, right? So that dancing girl, she was an output of culture during Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization, right? And if you remember last year's G20 meet, this uh, dancing girl was one of the mascot. She was made as the mascot of G20 meet when it happened in India. Now, without civilization, without modern civilization, dancing girl is lost. Dancing girl is lost. So culture is preserved and sustained by rather than civilizations, because it ensures continuity of culture. Good to visit ancient history after long. Yeah, that's all. No more. Okay, let's go on to the further ones because we have a few more topics to cover. Yeah, the process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. Very moderate topic, not too easy, not too tough. That means self-discovery. Okay, here can be self-awareness, understanding it yourself. Mindfulness will again come here. Mindfulness, and that has been taken over by technology. So how technology is impacting our self-awareness, mindfulness, our knowing our strengths, weaknesses, and it is both argumentative and expository. Because yes, you can argue that technologically we have outsourced. Like for example, you just have to determine your personality type. You just have to take a test now. Then it will tell you whether you are ENFJ or ENFP. There are some 16 personality types. Earlier, you needed to realize yourself, or you need to visit a psychologist, right? And there are so many apps with respect to mindfulness or meditation and everything. You can take tests. Social media has played a very important role in self-discovery here, right? Which group do you align? Which thought process? Which ideology you belong? Earlier, it took time. Now you just have to log into social media. There will always be two schools of thought or three schools of thought. You will see that which school of thought you belong. So in this way, technology has sort of outsourced it, and you can always generate a counter for that, saying no. The technology has its limitations. An individual needs to find himself, or the technology might create an echo chamber kind of an effect, right? When you will not be able to realize your true self discovery. What happens is, or rather than one more aspect apart from echo chamber effect is trying to fit in. Let's say, okay, everybody thinks that, okay, uh, protesting against climate change is rather than a matter of principle, it's just to sound cool. And then you see what are the various very bad ways of protesting against climate change. So I was just seeing the news other day, going to the Louvre Museum in France and throwing cake on Mona Lisa, or stripping of their clothes to protest. These are again impact of self discovery, and just to try, some people will just try and fit in just because it may sound cool, right? So this dimension, for against, you can bring in the analysis how technology has outsourced. Now tell me unique. What uniqueness can you bring in with respect to this topic? Unique dimensions where self discovery has been outsourced to technology. Technology itself is a manifestation of the process of self discovery. Very well done, Brijesh. Okay, next. The process of realization of self discovery to technology becomes self sacrifice now, where other opinions dominate over self realization. Very well done. Okay, this is also a unique one. Come on, more. trade-off between life of independence and dependence. Fine, but yeah, better link to the topic there, Ajay. Hmm? More, come on. Unrealistic points of comparison. Yeah, and also you can ask a valid question here, like, is it really self discovery if you have outsourced to technology? No, the see the word, it's paradoxical. Self discovery means something that you have to do it on your own without any assist. But if you're outsourcing it, is it really self discovery? Question mark. And also, one more counter dimension that you can take is self discovery involves emotional aspects, it involves psychological aspects, and it involves religious or spiritual aspects. Technology can help in one of them or some of these, but not everything, because we have the emotional aspect. Technology might help with emotional or psychological aspect, but spiritual aspects is something that technology has not yet evolved. Even the most modern of technology has not yet evolved. Okay, so this can be one more. All right. So let's go on to the next topic here. Ah, your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. We did a little bit of this in the skill enhancement class. So we'll directly jump to the unique dimensions. So go ahead. What unique dimensions? Just a quick recap. What it means is you are aware, like, your awareness and your perceptions. Okay. So one individual perceptions are shaped by his own rather than the opposite persons, and then the reaction to the of an individual is largely based on one's own awareness. So it is a interlink between attitudes, that is, a perception is a reflection of you, with respect to behavior, that is, my reaction to you is an awareness of me. So attitudes, behaviors, they're interlinked with respect to the awareness part. Come on, make me happy, make me proud quickly. And a few more, and we will wrap up today's session. Few more topics to go. What I am is not who I am. What I am is, how will you express this in with respect to the topic? You are giving a counter, or you supporting it? More clarity is needed here, Ajay. Okay, come on quickly. Okay, I'll give one from my end. So now, when you're talking about perceptions, reflections, and their awareness, a balance is required from among these. So balance is needed in the reflections and perceptions and the reactions. But the thing is, the balance of reaction is very, very situational. It varies from situation to situation. No matter how self-aware you are, there will always be areas that you will act not as according to your awareness. That means this is influenced by external factors. Your behaviors are influenced by external factors. Sometimes as simple as, yeah, the environment, the heat, the cold, or sometimes as complex as the situation that you are in. It may be a very complicated situation. Apart from that, a simple process of self improvement, as everyone is a mirror to others. and link it to the aspect of reaction part as well. Okay, good enough. Anybody else apart from Ajay? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. I know it's a tough topic. Not many of you would choose it to write. But what if all the topics are as tough as this? You must have seen it in the third essay, right? Essay number three. All the four topics were there. And it's actually a good thing when the topics are tough. Three topics will automatically get eliminated, and there will be only one topic that you will be able to write. So you will not waste the time in picking the topic, because many of you told in second test they had difficulty in identifying and picking a topic. So in the next session we'll start by brainstorming session 2, where we'll talk about picking the topic. I think you are now sufficiently experienced with three tests, and I can tell you how to pick a topic. Because ultimately, I think out of four topics in past, given in the past 4 5 years trends, there are at least two topics that you will be able to write an essay. So how to decipher between those two topics and pick the right one for you, we are going to talk in the next session. Knowing oneself is the greatest bliss, rather than striving for others' opinions to react as their puppet. All right, fair enough. Let's go on to the next one. Yeah, this one though we have covered in the skill enhancement classes. Philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while materialism is a chimera. Let's skip this. Do it as a homework. Unique dimensions also we have covered, but still, if you want to generate more, do it as a homework. Yeah, the real is rational, and the rational is real. So very simple topic here. Real is rational. That means whatever the reality that we have has to be met with logic, rationality, and empiricism. So these things are real, and anything that is not rational cannot be real. And then rational is real. So our reality is shaped by rationality. So our reality is being shaped by rationality, whatever we have today or whatever we had in the past. Okay, so these things are shaping our rationality, so our reality. So the real is rational and the rational is real. And directly let us it's both largely analytical, and few arguments also you can generate, including counters. So let's just directly jump into the unique dimensions. Go ahead. Come on. With respect to real is the rational, like no, we can bring in. There are so many things that shape our reality. Okay, in the analytical part. So there, you have to in this you have to again identify the link between rationality and reality. Come on, quickly, I'm waiting. Okay, it can be subjective. Okay, subjectivity is one. Apart from that, one unique dimension that I can think of, which I had actually used. This was from 2021, and this is one. This is the last of the essay I ever wrote for UPSC. I had used one unique dimension for this. Okay, which was virtual but rational can also be real. And I substantiated using that virtual reality, augmented reality as the substantiation. Virtual but rational, because virtual reality, augmented reality is a rational thing, but it is actually virtual, but it's a reality of our lives that's shaped by reality. So this was the last dimension that I'd used in the body as a unique dimension. In Yeah, this is also a good one. Real may be irrational when we have limited rationality. Irrationality is also a part. Uh, 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 the student with the username prime. What example will you substantiate? And by the way, what's your name? It's better to address with your name. Okay. So, what substantiation will you use for real may be irrational when we have limited rationality? And irrationality is also part of reality, the things which are beyond human logic. It's very much in the body itself. Okay, not a very unique dimension. With more and more rational analysis of reality, one can see the ideal. It is actually a unique dimension. Okay. Rationality can sometimes blur reality, which might lead to unacceptable and cause of instability, fueling unrealistic incident. What example will you use here to substantiate, Vishal? Unique, but what example will you use to substantiate? I want to see. Sometimes not all the things can be tangible, yet it does not stop to be real. Again, Ajay, I want to see what example will you use to substantiate this. Emotions, love. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, that is one thing. Okay, Adarsh. All right. Vishal, Ajay, I'm waiting for your examples. Then we'll go on to the next one. Come on, Ajay. Come on. Social emotions, values, realities. Okay, fair enough. Fake AI videos. Very good. Let's go on to the next one. Hand that rocks the cradle. Hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Now, this was a sort of a complicated topic, and a lot of people have narrowly interpreted of the topic as motherhood. First of all, if you have interpreted this topic as motherhood, which a lot of people did back in 2021, I almost I did 5 minutes of brainstorming, and then I realized, okay, I'm interpreting it very narrowly because I've never mentioned it motherhood. Then I went on to the different topic, history repeating itself as tragedy and then as farce. So I almost wrote this, but then a lot of people interpreted it narrowly, and I think you might interpret it as narrowly, but this does not talk about motherhood. This talks about this actually talks about the nurturing. It can be anybody. It can be a mother, father, teacher, grandparent. So nurturing leads to betterment of future. Ruling of the world means betterment of future. It's a little bit of a difficult topic. So early childhood nurturing or early nurturing in initial days. You can you can apply this analogy to countries. It can apply this analogy to societies as well. But this is not restricted to motherhood. Motherhood is one aspect of that. Motherhood is definitely one aspect of that, but it is about nurturing. Nurturing leading to betterment of future. Rule the world means like the not just becoming the king, because one of my friends who had written with me back in 21 when we discussed, that person had just taken one example. He took the example of Shivaji and his mother Jijabai. He take example of all the mothers, great mother, APJ Abdul Kalam's mother, Gandhi's mother. He took all the examples and how they are ruling the world. That would be a very narrow interpretation of topic. And rules the world is not like literal rules the world. It can be betterment, something success. All right. You tell me unique dimensions for this. And it is largely again expository or analytical topic. Couple of additional arguments you can generate, but yeah. So early influence, teachers, parents, grandparents, friends, character building, cognitive development. All this we'll do. Unique dimensions. Come on. One unique dimension is it's not just the early childhood, how it did complex interplay of factors, and ultimately it's the person who will decide whether he will be successful, whether he will rule the world or not. Okay, so it's up to the individual. Okay, it's not just the hand that rocks the cradle, it's not just the early nurturing, but it's also the complex. There are complex interplay of factors, and with person himself being a deciding factor. Come on, more. Yeah, nurturing could also end up in escapism and might limit one's potential. Over nurturing, you can tell. That's also one valid example. Nurture versus nature. More. What do you want to say in relation to this topic? Nurture with respect to nature. Come on, waiting. Okay, yeah, this is a better one. All nurturing is of no use unless the individual possesses the aptitude, right? So in these lines, you can think. Let's go on to the next one. What is research but a blind date with knowledge? So now, what is research but a blind date with knowledge? Very simple, right? So whenever this blind date part, so it says research starts with respect to trial and error. It starts uncertainty. It starts with an element of chance, right? So trial and error, uncertainty, and then discovery or innovation will all research will come here only. So this thing, it's a blind date with the knowledge. So you just tinker around the knowledge, and then that is called as research. So this is both expository and argumentative topic. You can also in the body you can analyze how trial and error with knowledge resulted in greatest of inventions, innovations, uncertainty, accidental discovery of penicillin, all those things. Then you can actually also give a counter argument saying that you need preparedness for research, you need data for research, and chance is very less, but it's more of hard work and perseverance with respect to knowledge that is research, not just a blind date. Okay, because you know very well with hard work and perseverance like what went right and what went wrong, and it's a process of continuous improvement and everything, because you have already done your sort of preparedness with respect to your data, you have analyzed it, so that leads to, so this is the this thing. So now tell me some unique dimensions here. Come on, quickly, guys. Few more and we can wrap up today's session. Unique dimension with respect to that. With respect to what is research but a blind date with knowledge. Okay, the one unique dimension that you can think of is sometimes it's just about luck. Okay, with respect to this, luck plays a very important factor here. Okay, research can help in breaking blind knowledge. Good enough. Okay, so can help breaking barriers of blind knowledge. What else? What else? Come on, at least couple more I want. Think hard. What is research but a blind date with knowledge? I know you're all saturated, but keep pushing yourself. You can also bring in one more thing I can think of is various aspects of empiricism over long time. So not just one times or two times. Empiricism over long time is research, not just a blind date. Uh, not just a blind date with knowledge. Okay, research is a blind date between researcher's curiosity guided by knowledge and the researcher himself. Fair enough. Research can be to defend or criticize established knowledge. Good enough. We can give the nice example of Galileo, right? So very nicely done. Marriage is not guaranteed. So it's a blind date with knowledge, but marriage is not guaranteed. But you can express it little slightly better, because when you go on a blind date, you're not sure whether whether or not you're going to go on one more date or whether it's going to end up in a marriage. Yeah, that means here marriage, give it the connotations of success, right? So give it the connotations of success, and then research is a double-edged sword. No, Vishal, this is not linking with the topic properly. All right, so let's go on to the one. Okay, this also I wrote in the 21 minutes. History repeats itself first as a tragedy, second as a farce. Now, it means history is cyclical in nature. Okay, it keeps on repeating, and first time it happens as a tragedy, means there are drastic consequences, and second time there are a comical consequences, like it will seem very absurd when it repeats second time. It's like, okay, we still haven't learned our lessons, so it's like a comical, like one nice example would be what's happening in Bangladesh, right? What happened in 1971, so it was a very drastic and a very tragic thing. This year also it happened. There is some element of tragedy involved here, but storming the presidential palaces, stealing her goats, stealing her fishes, stealing her personal belongings, stealing her treadmill, that was a farce, right? So it tells about the cyclical nature of history, first as a tragedy and second as a farce. Let's move on to the unique dimensions here. So what are the unique dimensions that you can think of with respect to this topic? So counter argument is very simple. This is both expository as well as argumentative type of aspect. History need not repeat itself if we learnt our lessons. So that is a counter argument here. First as a neither as a tragedy nor as a farce. So what is the counter argument? Sorry, what is the unique dimension? It can be a counter argument or anything. Quickly, guys, hurry up. First as a tragedy, second as a farce. History repeating itself. Not a very apt one, Ajay. Repetition of events defeat the purpose of human life. Repetition of tragic events defeats the purpose of human life. Then it makes sense. Repetition of tragic events defeats the purpose of human life. We do not take lessons. This is a very ordinary dimension. Okay, when we don't learn, history never repeats in future, as both of them are in existence, but its value that repeat itself, as it is the only constant. Fair enough. Nature itself is cyclical. Good one, others. And you can also actually bring in the example of fatality, right? If something is meant to happen, it will happen. There is nothing you and I can do. If something is meant to happen, it's bound to happen. Okay, tragedy followed by tragedy defeats the purpose of knowing history. Yeah, fair enough, good. Okay, so let's go to the next one. There are better practices to best practices. I know, little bit of complicated topic, but it says very simple, right? It is very simple. That means everything needs continuous improvement. Let's say you think that something is best, but that's not the case. As the time changes, you always need to refine it. Okay, everything needs continuous improvement. So what's best today is not necessarily best for tomorrow, and this is what expository and analytical topic. Okay, and as well as argumentative topic. That means you can actually counter this saying that some best practices are standard. You don't have to refine it unnecessary. Like that can also be a unique dimension. Like unnecessary refinement of best practices may actually make them counter productive, right? So this is the topic. Couple of unique things. Repetition helps us in okay, this is for the previous topic. Okay, for this topic you can actually modify this and apply to this topic as well. Like when you repeat more and more things over and over again, continuous refinement helps us achieve perfection. Okay, so this you can fit it here. Okay, and overdoing best practices can actually lead to its deterioration, as they popularly say, right? Three rights make a left, right? Three rights make a left. So that is something, it can actually hinder the progress. What else? What other unique dimension? To be content with existing situation, so add words here. To be content with existing situations is to be in the contempt of life. Good, good unique dimension in support of the topic. Sometimes quest and search for best practices can obstruct the path of contentment. Okay, good enough. Good enough. All right, so we'll okay. Best practices are collective wisdom which seeks conformity. This is actually a very good unique dimension. Best practices are collective wisdom which seeks conformity. Okay, so this is also well done. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Yeah, forests are the best case studies for economic excellence, right? uh, let's go ahead with that, right? So now I know it is not exactly a philosophical type of topic, but still there are a lot of things. You have to see how forests give us a best case study for economic excellence. So you can tell about various things. Resource optimization, so how optimally the forests are using the resource. You can also bring in the cyclical economy or circular economy. How we have today, like forests, right from the cycle that we have, food chain or food web, that one, and it also ensures sustainability or intergenerational equity. right? I think it also gives us the fact of survival of the fittest. And then the service sector ecosystem services, you can interlink that. That is one thing. And for predation, what are the nefarious and unethical practices? Yeah, so and you have to link it with the modern day economic excellence. What lessons we can learn from the forest? So can you tell me unique lessons that we can learn here, apart from resource optimization, circular economy, intergenerational like equity, survival of the fittest, service, predation? Okay, so any unique dimensions here, come on, go ahead. Got unique dimensions. Growth versus, no, not very unique. Self-corruption model, could you elaborate on that, other? Could you elaborate on that self-correction model? So ecological succession, that is a good one. Also learning of hope and tragedy as replicated from ecological succession, but link it to the economic world. Okay, like boom after a fall. Okay, every actor is a part of the whole. Okay, that's a good one, but you have to link it better. Okay, lessons for corporate social responsibility. Yeah, that's also there. Yeah, anything else? I think a couple more. You can actually link crony capitalism and corporate corruption, or with invasive alien species that will spoil the entire ecosystem itself. Okay, one health approach. Forests are never in isolation. Yes, that is good thing. And also you can say, in quest of economic growth. Okay, in quest of economic growth, we are destroying the forest, making them actually the not so best case studies for economic excellence. In quest for economic growth, we are destroying the forest and making them not a apt case for economic excellence. Oh, this is an amazing one. Miyawaki technique can be used to understand the local economy and hence the better understanding of macro economy. Very nice. Okay, good job. Let's go to the next one. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. Very simple, guys. What poets tell as a form of poetry, sooner or later it takes the shape of a law, right? So that means the poet lays down the foundation, they lay down the critique, they shape the perception, they inspire change, right? And they show mirror to the society, and they have the mirror to society. They have an influence, right? From Montesquieu, Voltaire, Rousseau, French revolutions to American revolutions or anything. So this thing, and it is both argumentative and expository topic. Right, you can tell that okay, not every poet was long lasting or bring long lasting changes as a counter argument, or you can bring in the poetry is very abstract to be considered as like unacknowledged legislature of the ones, and some may be very radical here. Some poets may be very radical, or having a narrow view to be considered as legislators of the world. Okay. Yeah, unique dimensions for this topic. Unique dimensions for this topic. Could you elaborate upon that, Lekhan? Could you further elaborate upon that? Subjectivity in the perception of poetry. So that's actually a good thing. Okay. Subjectivity in the perception of poetry. Yeah, poetry talks about ideal world, but we need legislations for real world. Yeah, we cannot have a utopia. We cannot have a idealistic world. We need legislations for real world. And poetry may be outdated. That also you can bring in. Some poetries is outdated. You cannot actually have that as well. It should be making sense, right? And also one more unique dimension is, see, not everything can, like not everything can, whatever poetry or poets wrote can become a legislation. So sometimes poets serve as moral compass, because not everything they wrote can become a legislation. So sometimes it serves as a moral compass for the world. Okay, this is something that you can work on, right? Uh, okay, next, ship in a harbor is safe. I think we have addressed that adequately in our skill enhancement classes. So let's go to the next one, right? Okay. 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 Before that, we have this one. History is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man. Very simple. The same thing. The scientific man, logic, rationality, empiricism, logic, rationality, empiricism wins over emotions, beliefs, and faith. This is both expository and an analytical topic, because you can easily counter this. Okay, you can easily counter this by saying, like for example, one counter for this will be, yes, logic or scientific man prepared the most advanced scientific technologies and artifacts, but it is the man who uses it. Like for example, we had the very most advanced weapons used in World War II, but it is the human will that resulted in the victory of the allied forces. The human will, which is a part of the emotional aspect, right, which is aspect of the romantic aspect of the man, right? So in on those lines you have to think. So tell me the unique dimensions here. Yeah, all mind, a mind, all logic is a knife, all blade. It bleeds the hand that uses it. That is a unique dimension here. And with respect to one more counter that I can think of, like it's not the scientific man who starts the revolutions. It is the romantic man, inspired by the beliefs, inspired by the emotions. Any revolution you take up, apart from industrial revolution, it is done by the romantic man, right? Not with respect to the scientific man. That is one more thing. Yeah. And also one more unique dimension that you could have. told is we need balance. We cannot discard one thing over the other. Like we need a balance between the scientific man and the romantic man. And one more quote I remember here: in small matters, trust the trust the mind. In large matters, trust the heart. In small matters, trust the mind. In large matters, trust the heart. So showcasing the balance between the scientific man over romantic man. Any more? Couple more we will see and go to the next one. Emotion inspires, logic guides. Yeah, fair enough. Emotion inspires, logic guides. Fair enough. Though scientific man won many battles, most of them failed to win the war. That is also a very valid this thing. You can give example of the Enigma code from World War II. Scientific man won many battles, but failed to win the war. Okay, good one. Next one we are skipping. Ship in the harbor is safe. We have covered that in skill enhancement. Yeah, this is also very easy. Okay, that means it shows proactiveness to approach problem. Proactiveness, foresight. Just go to the unique dimension. Go to the unique dimension. What unique dimensions can you bring in here? The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Come on. Now we'll quickly wrap up. We have just few more topics left. Come on, quickly. I thought of finishing it in 3 hours. It has taken more than 3 hours. Come on, quickly. What unique dimensions? Self-awareness and situational awareness. Ordinary only. It has to anyways come in the body itself. So one unique dimension that I can think of here is now the situations are such that you cannot wait for the sun to shine. Given the fact that we are living in an era of climate change and global warming, we have to adapt to repair the roof whenever it is required. Yes, rain is needed to know leakages in the roof, and you can link with my uniqueness here. Like we have to adapt to prepare, and you can also bring in because of the climate change. It is not even ideal to repair when the sun is shining, because you can bring in the concept of heat waves. I can tell it is not very ideal to repair when the sun is shining because of the heat waves that are going on. Importance of roof when sun is not shining. Yeah. Like and what's the use of roof if the walls only are dilapidated? Okay. Dilapidated. Okay, so that is something that you can do. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is a very simple topic. You cannot step twice in the same river. It means change is the only constant, right? So change is the only constant. Life changes, time changes, you navigate. Okay, you move across, and once and also it also tells that okay, if you missed an opportunity, okay, it's gone. Okay, opportunity never knocks twice, right? So this dialogue, okay, you cannot step twice in the same river. Change is the only constant. Go for unique dimensions, guys, directly, quickly. So go for unique dimension. That's a very ordinary dimension. And but the popular saying you cannot write like that. History does repeat itself. You cannot step twice in the same river. Come on. I know it's not a very easy topic per se to think uniquely. But meandering river can cross you twice. Okay, that's a unique dimension. Dikshit, what example will you use to substantiate that? I'm a bit curious. What example will you use to this thing? Sometimes stepping or revisiting our actions are better way for reformation. Yeah, that is a good thing. But also you can bring in this unique dimension where you can step twice in a dammed river. Okay, when a river is dammed, that impedes the water flow rate. Okay, so that is one thing. In your mind you can step in the same river. Past memories are inerasable. Okay, the notion hinders risk taking, which can be afforded in the present times. Yeah, that is also relevant but linked to the topic. This also, the dammed river, right? If you can dam a river, you can actually step twice. All right, so let's go to the next one. A smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. Very simple topic. When you are facing through uncertainties, okay, when you are going through some ambiguous times in life, so at that time, a smile is the apt one, because smile is a reflection of joy. Smile is a reflection of positivity. Smile is a reflection of confidence. And yes, sometimes can be smile can be deceptive, like you say, right? Poker face, right? So that it can be reflection of a poker face also. This the smile. Now go for unit dimension directly. Yeah, see, this is both expository and analytical topic. You can counter saying that smile is not always the best choice. You can have a neutral face as well, especially in ambiguous situations, right? Or going through a sad situations. You can counter it as well. But tell me some counter dimensions. That aspect of sitting on the bank has to be written it much more well in the context of the topic, Lekhan. Okay, has to be written well within the context of the topic. Yeah, this is a unique dimension. So action should follow the smile to solve those ambiguities, because without action, smiling and sitting, you look like a fool anymore. Yeah, we are almost done with the topic. So, no, like a couple more and we'll be done. Okay, I thought we'll do it within three. It exceeded. Right. Anyway, it's almost done. Okay, a couple more which remains. Or we'll end this up, at this topic, and we will few more that are left. Okay, we can resume from in the next session. Okay, sometimes it's ambiguous to smile or not. That is actually a unique dimension. A smile is the most dangerous one. What follows can either break hell or make heaven. Yeah, fair enough, right? So, and also you can bring in, like, you can bring in the additional dimension of patience is can be a better vehicle, okay, than smile, than in for all ambiguous situations, because you don't know whether you're going to sink or sail. Okay, rather than smiling, okay, a smiled patience or just patience, okay, patience rather than the smile can be a chosen vehicles for all ambiguities. The remaining topics we'll cover in the next session. So since this today is going to be closed for Independence Day tomorrow, okay, I'll give you a homework for tomorrow. Like if you can turn the pages, okay, in the course book, I have the same set of analysis tables drawn for the technical topics after a couple of pages, and also for previous year's essay edge topics. The remaining philosophical topics we will cover day after tomorrow, okay, in the class itself, uh, because we are almost till 2022. Couple more of 2022 and 2023 wala topics are remaining. We'll do that. The technical topics, unique dimensions, as well as previous year's essay edge topics I have given. What I want to do is what we did here, like quick brainstorming, okay, of what major dimensions you can generate, and including unique dimensions. You have to do it tomorrow. Okay, set a time. Okay, take, I think, 1.5 hour, that's all. 1.5 hour, and try and finish it off. About you will have about take 2 hours. Okay, you will have about how many, around 60 odd topics to cover. Okay, you'll have about 60 odd topics to cover. Just cover them quickly tomorrow within 2 hours. Focusing more on unique way of thinking. See, mundane way of thinking, routine way of thinking, you are all used to. I am now making you guys to think uniquely. Whichever are remaining of philosophical topics for 2022 and 23, we'll cover in the next class, and we'll go on to the brainstorming after we are done with that, and then we'll work on persuasion, and then after in the final class we'll work on having a distinctiveness. Okay, distinctiveness in section A and section B. How to make cliches not sound like cliches, how to ensure that your cliches are better than the others. Okay, and these things will and also with respect to conclusions I'll speak more. Okay, I've been speaking to you in on our individual sessions, but more what could be done to write more impactful conclusions. Okay, so we will meet on 16th, do the assignment. Okay, so the test that was there on 16th, that will be held on 18th now, and after that which was supposed to be held on 24th, that will be held on 26th. That is the only change. Okay, I'll put that in the Telegram channel. Just 2 days postponement of test. What was held on 16th will be on 18th, the test number 4, and what was held on, I think, 24th or 26th, I don't know, 2 days postponement for that as well, right? So if you have any doubts with respect to today's session, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll see you day after. Okay, so today's session. Yes, smiling creates mistrust, but that is a very ordinary dimensions per se. So doubts here in today's session. So remember, you have to generate at least a couple unique dimension. Just to recap today's session here, and always remember, first start by going with the flow of the topic. Do not directly bring in unique dimension. It will seem very abrupt, and also it will give you a tendency. It will give a tendency to the examiner that you might have misunderstood the topic. So do not do that. Okay. Yeah, choices are necessary for well-being, but this will cover in the next session. Okay, but that is a unique dimension per se. All right, if no further doubts, okay, I'll wrap up the session. Okay, I'll see you guys day after. Okay, where we'll work on further refining your skills. All right, and I know time is of paramount importance here, so I want you guys to be giving your best each day. Okay, now mains is almost approaching you. Okay, so be effective and do not forget essay now. Okay, essay is worth 250 marks. It can make a hell lot of difference. And remember to do the brainstorming exercises that I have told you. Okay, so the brainstorming exercises daily for 15 minutes. Take a random topic. uh, how we did the mini brainstorming here, do an effective brainstorming for 15 minutes. Keep the timer. Everything from introduction to body to conclusion, including unique dimensions, unique examples, anything, everything, 15 minutes, not a second more. This will help you brainstorm better. This will help you write better. All right, so do that. Okay, and you this will help you write good essays. See, there is no like particular technique per se to generate unique dimensions. It's just about training your brain to think on unique lines within the scope of the topic. That's it, right? The more you practice, the better you get at that. As simple as that. Okay. So the more you practice, the better you get at that. All right. I'll see you in the next session. Take care. Keep studying well.